Hello and welcome. We're so excited to have the opportunity to open this community celebration for the United Way of Oxford. Toyota Motor Manufacturing Canada is proud to be a sponsor of this event, and we are very happy to be able to work with United Way of Oxford to help the community in giving back. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Kelly Gilson.
Good afternoon. My name is Kelly Gilson, and I'm the Executive Director with United Way Oxford. Thank you so much for joining us today in truly what is a campaign community celebration event, and yet virtual. We are thrilled to thank Toyota. Toyota Motor Manufacturing Canada is an amazing partner for our United Way and for our community. Not only are they sponsoring today's event, but they are so incredibly generous and thoughtful in their work throughout the year. So whether it's helping us with Seeing is Believing tours, sponsoring events, running amazing employee campaigns, or really digging in deep whenever there's a need, our community is blessed to have them as a partner, and so thank you so very much. I'm thrilled to be here at 639 today. It is an amazing restaurant located in downtown Woodstock, and they are hosting us today for our community celebration. So thank you so much to them. It's a great place to be and to celebrate and to really talk about some of the amazing things that have happened for our United Way and for our community over the past year. Let me start by saying it has been a really challenging year. Certainly COVID continued to play havoc, and one of the things that we know about the pandemic and about the impact on our community is that while we were all in the same storm, we were truly all in very different boats. And so there are so many individuals and families who struggled in a variety of ways, and it might be with isolation or loneliness, it might be with job loss or reduced hours, it might be with mental health and addictions. It certainly, there were lots of struggles for those who were trying to homeschool and juggle all of those things, those demands that have played havoc across our community, our country, and frankly our world. And so one of the things that United Way is so proud to be able to do is to be here to work with community to make sure that there's a vital network of programs and services available to meet those demands. And we couldn't do it without all of you. This is an example of it takes a village, and you are our villagers, and together as a village we can create a happier, healthier, more prosperous and more welcoming Oxford community for all. So thank you very much. There's so much to celebrate. So many wonderful things happened last year, and as we reflect back and as we meet some of our friends and supporters over the coming celebration, you'll hear about lots of things, but there's a few that I really want to mention. The ones that immediately pop to mind are, for instance, the Supplies for Students program. We were able to meet the demand last year, a growing demand for families struggling with the cost of back-to-school programming, and we were able to do it with great community partners and generous folks across our county who want to make sure that families have the kind of dignified and creative support that the Supplies for Students program provides. So thank you for that. That was really something. We also had a lot of workplaces step up with new and innovative ways to help us. Some were still running employee campaigns, some were running employee payroll campaigns, and then some. And so just some of the quick examples would be POW Engineering, who stepped up and said, here's an opportunity, we're going to support you with some advertising and some other options to make it easier for us to do the work we do in a much more affordable way. We have Maglan Site Furniture, who stepped up and said, we're going to support this new community program for the holidays, and we want to really ensure that giving is matched to encourage folks to step up at that Christmas season. We want to give a shout out to GM Cami Assembly Plant and their commitment to help us fund STEM programming, in particular for young women, to help ensure that students who needed some extra help in those sciences and technology and English and math were able to get some extra help, and we were able to partner with those dollars specifically with Big Brothers Big Sisters, and you'll hear a bit more about that in a moment. How could we not thank Tim Hortons? The Tim Hortons in Woodstock and in Ingersoll supported United Way through their Smile Cookie campaign. And there is an example that not only is a smile cookie good for your tummy, it's really good for your community. The generosity was unbelievable. And those dollars stay local to help local, because that's one of the things that really matters to United Way. We are 100% local, 100% Oxford. I also want to thank the Dr. Leonard Reeves Foundation, because truly without them, we would not have been able to see the incredible increase in leadership giving once again this year. So for the third year, Dr. Leonard Reeves Foundation stepped up with a significant matching grant to match any new donor that's giving that's giving $1,200 or more to United Way. It's double the fund, double the impact, double the money. So to Dr. Leonard Reeves and to the other community members who support that fund to ensure that we have a pot of funds available to inspire community giving, thank you so very, very much. We have Day of Caring, and we had so many workplaces still looking for ways, safe ways, that they could give back and give a shout out to community, to get volunteers out there doing good deeds. So lots of wonderful things happening there. And even our high school students across Oxford County, for the second year, we couldn't have our regular student stair climb, but they found a way. They found a new way to pivot and to do something within their own schools to support United Way, to help make a difference for fellow students across our county. So thank you to all of the high school students who participated and supported, and we look forward to the day when we can welcome you back to our stair climb. Finally, I'd like to thank the Woodstock District Chamber of Commerce, because United Way Oxford was the recipient of their Community Engagement Award last year, and that was really an honor. And so we were celebrating as United Way and our board and the staff and our volunteers, because it really spoke to the recognition of the work that we do in our community and certainly did through the pandemic. And so thank you. We are very grateful and appreciate that. And finally, I am the last individual I would like to thank, and there's so many, and I apologize because not everyone will get that appreciation through here, but know in our hearts we appreciate you, would be Mandy Latoy. And Mandy was our sponsored employee from Toyota Motor Manufacturing Canada last year. And Mandy spent the fall with us, working in our office, helping us to run the campaign. And it's the sponsored employee program that's supported each and every year, either through Toyota or through GM CAMI and Unifor Local 88, that makes the world of difference, because it's an extra person doing the work, reaching out to partners in workplaces and helping to raise the funds. And that fundraising work really matters, because the funds we raise are what do the work. And for us, the fundraising is the beginning of the story, not the end. The important part of all of those dollars and those generous contributions is that we use those dollars to make wise investments in our community. And that is the work we do. We have 35 plus volunteers who work with us for months on end, hundreds and hundreds of hours, helping us determine where best to use those dollars to have the greatest impact, how we can find a gap in service because we know our communities and invest there, or how we can notice a gap in funding and leverage opportunity there. And our work really makes a difference in those vital programs and services, that network that helps people across the county when they need it most. We are proud to be the largest non-government funder of social services here in our community, and we really hold that dear because we know those dollars that you invest with us make that difference in our community. So this past year, we were able to support 41 local organizations with boots on the ground support across Oxford, across all different demographics and areas, with 83 programs and services. And those programs and services help in all of our funded priority areas. So moving people out of poverty, giving them hope and possibility, building strong communities and healthy people with mental health supports and that sense of belonging and welcoming and safe places and spaces, and helping to ensure that all of our children and youth can be all that they can be, and that their families and caregivers have the supports that they need so that those children can thrive. That is what we want as a community. That is what we want as local citizens. And because of the amazing work of our partners on the ground and with your investments, that is the work that we know is happening. So it is a great honor that we are able to make those investments, and I thank all of the volunteers who helped us do that. We also, I want to mention our Community United Conversation series, and we've been doing that virtually, and we're shining a light on unignorable issues. And if you haven't had a chance to participate, you can check out some previous shows on our website, and I encourage you to do it, because as we shine a light on those unignorable social issues, those issues that are our social issues here in Oxford County, we can't create change until we shine a light and we talk about it and we learn more. And so it's a great resource. And all of this, all of United Way's work, and thankfully our amazing volunteers and our wonderful board, and those volunteers that help us make investments, none of that would be possible without the support of the campaign and all of the individuals and the workplaces that help us get there, and our campaign chair. So Marcy Shelton, who is a United Way Oxford campaign chair by day and sometimes by night, and also an inspector with the Woodstock Police Services most of the time, has been an incredible asset over the last 2 years to help us connect to community and to run the campaign and to show gratitude and show information and show the resources available through the campaign. So I'd like to welcome Marcy Shelton to join us.
Hi everyone, I'm Marcy Shelton, and I'm this year's United Way campaign chair. I've actually been doing this job since 2020, so I'm 2 years in, and my job today is to announce some of the award winners to the individuals and the businesses. As well, we just want to make sure that we highlight all those involved with United Way and all those who have contributed to United Way, and those award recipients who have went above and beyond to make this year extra great. Our first award is the Community Commitment Award. Now, this award is presented to the workplace or individual that is dedicated to bettering the health and strength of our community. And the winner of this award is POW Engineering. So POW Engineering has gone above and beyond in our community this past year. They have created connections with Ingersoll Chamber, Heart FM, the Toy Drive, just to name a few. They are 100% committed to United Way. Their staff is committed, the owners are committed, and they have maintained the amount of donors and brought in more donors from their business. They are a corporate match, and they have seen incredible growth over the past 5 years. They share resources with Ingersoll Chamber, and when they have resources to share, they always think community. Congratulations to POW Engineering. The next award that I have the honor to present is called the Game Changer Award. And this award is presented to a workplace or an individual that identified innovative ways to maintain and exceed campaign excellence with resiliency and creativity to ensure community needs are met. And the winner is Shoppers Drug Mart. Shoppers Drug Mart really stepped up when COVID hit and hosted the Tampon Tuesday event. We were worried about losing momentum without that being in person, but they kept it going and it was strong. We collected money at the tills and we collected from all 5 locations through drive-through. We collected donations in weeks leading up to the Tampon Tuesday event, and this money collected will be used throughout the year. I'd like to congratulate Shoppers Drug Mart in winning this award. So this next award is our Rising Star Award, presented to an individual who finds new and exciting ways to help support United Way through innovative thinking and a community mindset. The winner of this award is Helen Williamson of Scotiabank on Springbank Ave in Woodstock. Helen is a wonderful support to the United Way. She brought fun and a genuine interaction with her team and shared United Way's impact. She provided a unique and creative ways for our United Way staff to work with her team. And she hosted several events with other staff members at the bank, including a Farm Fresh egg event, specialty coffee event. She made handmade tea towels. There was raffle for half day. And then also she used creative ways to guess items in a jar. Helen's warmth and commitment to the community through United Way is genuinely contagious. Thank you so much, Helen, for all that you've done for United Way this year. So this concludes the first half of the awards that we're going to be presenting. So I'd like to turn it back to Kelly now at this point. Thank you.
Thanks, Marcy. It's always great to celebrate so many wonderful folks. And speaking of celebrating so many wonderful folks, it is my pleasure to introduce Beth Taylor today as a volunteer extraordinaire, quite frankly. So Beth has been involved with our United Way basically forever. Beth knows more about United Way than I do, and I've been here 20 years now. So welcome, Beth.
It's always good to be here. Always. I think I have been here for 35 years.
I think you have
That's
too.
what I'm guessing back.
Yeah.
So.
Beth was a child volunteer,
I was.
just so you know. But Beth has really been a volunteer across the gamut, from a board member to volunteers with our Community Impact Council. Beth's retirement goal was to chair our campaign, which she did. More people should have that as a retirement goal, by the way. But so you know United Way inside, outside, upside down, don't you?
Yeah, when we first arrived in Oxford County, we didn't know a soul. My husband and I were both teachers, and Bob Lester said to me, you know, a great project for you would be to chair the Oxford County Board of Education United Way campaign. And I come from a family of volunteers, so I said, okay, and the rest is history. And I've watched United Way grow and change and morph, and people have come and people have gone, but I've had the great pleasure of working with this team for a number of years now. And it's, yeah.
Well, the pleasure is all of ours for sure. And one of the things that you have been really, I mean, as I said, you know our entire process and all of our workings, but you've been really involved as we've changed some of our funding and we've gone much more to community impact and how we do that. That process is a really thorough process. And so maybe you could tell people a little bit about why that process matters to you, like what it looks like a bit.
Yeah, and I was reflecting on that when we did our last community impact sessions, because it really enriches the volunteers' experience. And if it's not an enriched experience, you're going to lose volunteers. But as we realized that doing business in the same way year after year was not necessarily serving the community to the best of our abilities, when you decided, and I came along for the ride, that we needed to learn more about how to do the work better, and how to serve the community better, because that's what United Way is all about. And so we did the Harwood training, and we learned to look outward toward the community, to have the community identify for us what are the really important issues for them. We did community conversations across the county with a huge variety of different groups, age groups, demographics, and got into discussions about what their hopes and dreams were for the community, and where they saw the gaps were, and what they felt the needs were. When we brought all that information back to the United Way office, I can remember sitting in the old office with more sticky notes than humans should need, and trying to sort it all through. And at that point thinking, I'm not sure why we did all of this. And then the light bulbs started to come on, and we started to see themes about what the community felt they needed. And that was when we were able to evolve into this community impact model. And I think also the fact that it's no longer just the board giving away the money at the end of the campaign, but it's this group of community members, and it's a large group of community members who again bring just a wealth and richness of experiences and expertise. They come from a really wide swath of the county and a wide variety of work backgrounds.
They do. I think this year, because we've just wrapped up over the last few weeks our review of this year's applications and our funding recommendations to the board, I think we had 35 volunteers on our Community Impact Council, and that's not a one and done commitment. That is months of meeting after meeting, of reviews, of interviews, with agencies, with volunteers, with clients.
Yes.
It's really fulsome.
Yes. And the discussions, the rich discussions that come out of it to help everyone understand as deeply as possible what any particular funding request might do to serve the community is really, it's a really rewarding experience, but it's also genuine. It's not just people sitting around a board table saying, okay, it seems like a good idea. It's people really exploring and asking really probing questions of the agencies that are applying, and reflecting back on United Way values to see whether it's a good fit and whether it really is going to have impact in the community. It's a great process. It can be arduous, but it is, at the end of every meeting, it's energizing. It's wonderful.
It is a really great process. And at the end of the day, we can stand on a table and say, we are making excellent funding decisions. We are good stewards of those dollars that people trust us with their donations to make good decisions. We can say, we can stand on a table and say, we have looked at all of the options. We are proud to invest where we're investing. because we know it will make a difference. And then we track those changes and we track impact and outcome measurements. And we really want to know what happens as the year progresses with those funding options.
I think the other thing is that it doesn't put you into a box as far as where the funding goes. So the funding in 2022 may serve a really particular need within the community, but that need may have evolved, changed, diminished enough that there may be another place to focus the funding on next year when we go through the process, which I think it allows really genuine funding opportunities.
It does, and I think that's such an important piece to mention because things really do change and morph, and we have seen significant changes in community needs, in those unignorable social issues over the last few years. And we certainly know that the recovery going forward for folks in particular, those most impacted over the last 2 years, who were vulnerable and perhaps marginalized to start, the recovery is going to be long, and it will ebb and flow. And we need to be there for the long haul, investing in a variety of different ways.
Yeah, and if we had stuck with the old model of funding, those people's issues would not have been addressed in this year's
Absolutely.
funding.
So I think that really speaks to, we were so fortunate to be where we are today so that we can be nimble when we need it most. Because certainly we do need it the most right now. And Beth, your background, you mentioned that you were a teacher. You retired as a principal at an Oxford County high school. And I know one of the things that really matters to you is funding and support for children.
Yes.
And you have this wonderful quote that you always reference. And so do you want to maybe share with the audience why that matters to you?
I always believed from the very beginning of my teaching career that it really only takes one caring adult to support a child to work on the path of becoming the best person that they can be, and to meet their potential. And so when I was working with teachers who were perhaps struggling with a student or worried about a student, I'd say to them, but you're the caring adult in their life, and that's important. And you may never know what the difference is, but if you meet them 10 years from now, they'll know what the difference was. And I believe that about, now as I understand more about the community as well, I believe that about any human being who is struggling. It doesn't take 20 people it may take 20 people to move them along their path, but it only takes one person who cares to help them understand that the path is there and that they're worthwhile to get on that path, that they deserve the path. That's important.
That sense of belonging to community, that sense of acceptance in a community, that really matters. Those are some of our foundational values at United Way. And I think, what you just said really speaks to, and I say this all the time, but that it takes a village. But we, each and every one of us, are the villagers. Like, we all have a role to play. Every single
one
person has a role to play to help others in our community and to help make sure our community is the kind of community we all want to live, work, and play in, and raise our children in and be in.
Exactly. Exactly. It's so important for everybody to look around and say, what little tiny corner of the world can I improve today? Or can I improve this year? And it doesn't need to be big. It doesn't need to be newsworthy. It just needs to be a bit of an improvement.
So Beth, on behalf of the United Way Board and all of our volunteers and our community members and partners and the citizens they each serve, thank you for 35 plus years of volunteering, both with United Way Oxford, and I have to give you all the credit in the world, also with some other wonderful organizations. You really are a volunteer extraordinaire. And so thank you for all that you do, and your wisdom and your guidance. And then I'm going to let you thank a few folks too.
Well, I'd like to thank so many people. There are so many people, and we need so much gratitude these days. But I'd like to thank the board for supporting the work that the Impact Council does. I'd like to thank the people who are out there working on our behalf to rally their workplaces. It's not an easy, and it's definitely not easy in times like this, when so many people are struggling, when people have been laid off, and now you're asking them would they just give some of their money away. But they do year after year, and it's astonishing work that they do. People who come out to support special events, those are important. People who advocate for others. So agencies who are out and advocating, whether it's in public or whether it's at the United Way table, the people who understand and who know the issues in Oxford County, those people are doing amazing work, and we couldn't do the work without them as well.
That is so true. So thank you, and thank you to all of them. We are very grateful for the input and the passion and compassion of our community, that kindness, and frankly, we, as you said, we need it now more than ever. So please know how much we appreciate all you do for United Way Oxford and for our community at large. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next award that we will be presenting is the Employee Campaign Champion. And this is presented to a workplace campaign coordinator that continuously goes above and beyond and is always looking for ways to strengthen their campaign through employee engagement. Sharon Dykstra of Timberland Equipment Limited is the winner of this award. Sharon has been a long-time employee campaign coordinator who is dedicated to United Way. In fact, years ago, when I was first on the board of directors with United Way, Sharon was also on the board. She is passionate about United Way's work and leads campaign with a sense of purpose and interest to make a difference. She is always looking for new ways to engage her team, and she shares new ideas with our United Way team. Sharon always shows compassion to those in our community in need of assistance by going out of her way to help others faced with challenges. She is a great volunteer for United Way within our community, and we're lucky to have her. Thank you and congratulations, Sharon. The next award that I will be presenting is the Corporate Support and Engagement Award. And this award is presented to an organization that demonstrates commitment to United Way in a manner that far exceeds traditional corporate support. This award goes to Toyota Motor Manufacturing Canada. Toyota is an incredible partner of United Way and the community as a whole. Their generous corporate support financially, but also through programs like the Sponsored Employee Program. Pivoted and turned our Seeing is Believing tour into a virtual experience. They are a sponsor of a donation match for supplies for students. This team is engaged. Smile cookies in the cafeteria and assembling over 800 food hampers to help those in need in our community. A big thank you to Toyota for their donations and for their efforts to United Way and our community. The next award that I will be presenting is the Special Appreciation Award. And this is presented to a workplace or individual who has done such an incredible job that it just cannot go uncelebrated. The winner of this award is Kelly Meredith of Toyota Motor Manufacturing Canada. Kelly has long been involved with United Way campaign at Toyota. She stepped up to host and organize all the presentations for our Seeing is Believing tour at the Woodstock plant. She also arranged to host more tours for the night shift when production was down, helping to share the impact and local resources with a much larger audience. She has been an incredible United Way ambassador, not only this year, but for many years. Congratulations, Kelly, on winning this award, and thank you for all of your efforts.
Thanks, Marcy. So next on our program, we're going to talk a little bit about United Way's investment areas and why they really matter here in our community. So just in case you aren't familiar, we invest in 3 areas: moving people from poverty to possibility, building strong and healthy communities, and making sure that children and youth can be all that they can be. And so, speaking of children and youth, it is my pleasure to welcome Kristen Ralph, the Executive Director with Big Brothers Big Sisters Oxford, here to talk a little bit about yourself and your programming for our children and youth in Oxford, and our relationship with your relationship with United Way. So welcome, Kristen.
Thank you so much, Kelly. I'm happy to be here.
So can you tell us a little bit about your role and a little bit about Big Brothers Big Sisters?
Sure. So I've been with Big Brothers Big Sisters since 2010. I started as a caseworker and have moved my way up to Executive Director. And we have been in Oxford County for over 50 years, providing mentoring programs, both one-on-one and group, for young people across the county.
Excellent. You know, one of the things when we're out speaking a lot to organizations and service clubs, etc., and I often actually refer to Big Brothers Big Sisters to say that people know Big Brothers Big Sisters. Everyone knows your work and how important it is, but people often don't actually know the work or the impact it has. And so maybe you can talk a little bit about why your role, why your organization really does matter, and how you can see that in our community.
Absolutely. So you're right. Everybody knows Big Brothers Big Sisters. We are well known across the country, but few people actually know what makes up Big Brothers Big Sisters. We have changed a lot in 50 years. We have started with the one-to-one mentorship, Big Brother Big Sister is traditional, and we've moved on to group programming and programs in schools, offering support to our young people. And what we do over the length of time that our young people are with us are provide them with support with a mentor who has been trained specifically to meet the needs of that young person. So it's not a one-size-fits-all agency anymore. We actually dig deep into what each child and family needs with their caregiver and with the child to figure out how we can best support them. And then we offer that training to the mentor so that they can be the best mentor that they can be for the child that they're matched with.
Which is that rewarding piece of volunteering as well. And so while I can't tell you that United Way Oxford has been involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters since your very beginning, we started in 1964. And so I think if we went back into the archives, we pretty much have been connected in some way, shape, or form, and very likely in a funding manner as well, almost from the get-go.
Absolutely.
And so our roots go deep, our connections are strong, but it's really more than just a funding relationship we have, don't you think?
Absolutely. I can thank United Way for connecting me with more people and more agencies throughout Oxford County. We provide connections to our kids, to these organizations. You have given us the opportunity to speak about what we do to many workplaces, get the word out, to get those volunteers in the door. United Way provides a lot more than just funding. You provide connection throughout the community.
Well, it's our pleasure. That's part of the work that we do. And I think one of the things that people might not understand, especially when they're thinking about whether it's Big Brothers Big Sisters programming specifically, or even some of United Way's work, is that often when we talk about the importance of a network of services, it really does matter, because issues and challenges that individuals, families, or kids are facing, they tend to be quite complicated, and they're often very complex. And so that means that they're intertwined. And so could you speak a little bit about how your organization works with others to really have that sort of safety umbrella or safety net for the folks who need it?
Absolutely. It really is a village. It takes a village to raise a child. And we have made some amazing connections throughout the community. 70% of our young people in our programs are connected with another agency throughout Oxford County. And likely that number is higher. They just haven't let us know yet. But it goes both ways. So we often provide referrals to families as they come in, and they let us know what they're going through. And we are able to give them connections and referrals to agencies across Oxford County that can provide them with the support that they need outside of Big Brothers Big Sisters. And we also get referrals from other agencies. So again, a lot of our kids coming in are coming in with referrals from schools, from agencies like Welkin, from Children's Aid Society. We get a lot of that coming in as well. So it really is what you're saying, that wraparound, that safety net that we can provide our families.
Mm-hmm. And you know, one of the things when we're looking to make investments, we're looking at meeting immediate needs, which we call getting by needs. We look at getting ahead needs, those where we can fund that can actually change the trajectory for someone, that can change their life, can give them a better future story, if you will. And we want to get to preventative and proactive root causes, where we can actually invest early and change those lives. And your program is a great example of investing early to make the world a difference.
Absolutely. It's amazing how quickly adverse experiences can impact a child's life. But if they have something that is in their life that's positive and can react to those adverse childhood experiences, it can really mitigate all the risk factors as they grow older. So we can break those cycles of poverty. We can break those cycles of abuse and drug use and all those things that can impact the daily life of a child, to work to ensure that they can reach their full potential, that they're not being held back by things that they've experienced in the past.
And that is absolutely our goal as well when we are looking at supporting our community. And I think that's one of the beautiful things of United Way, United Way Oxford and others. But when we're looking to make investments, we're looking at the big picture of our community. And we are making decisions in all kinds of areas, not just the geographic areas across our county, although we are doing that as well and investing in all areas, but we're really looking at all of the areas of need and all of the demographics where there are particular issues. So it might be for seniors, we're programming where they've been dealing with isolation. COVID was a really great example where we needed to really up investments in some of those areas. But it's, you know, the beauty of United Way is when you give and help us impact and fund programs, you are making the availability of so many programs and services. And those programs and services really are interconnected. The thigh bone really is connected to the hip bone. So it really is a way to invest and make that difference that we all want in our community. Kristen, can I ask a little bit about how you pivoted during COVID? And I know that term is probably getting a bit old, but I think you guys are a great example of how you adapted fast and furiously so that you could be there for your kids.
Absolutely. So one thing that I am so proud of is my staff and their passion for making sure our kids are connected. And as soon as we realized that lockdown was going to last a little bit longer than the 2 weeks after March break that they had promised, we knew that we had to do something because our kids were being sucked into the isolation cycle. They weren't connecting as much. to people in their lives. And we wanted to make sure that we could connect. So we pivoted quick. We moved all of our programs to virtual means, and even with United Way's help, we were able to start a brand new program for virtual mentoring that will continue long after COVID is over.
I'm going to echo your comments and say that I couldn't be more proud of our United Way staff, volunteers as well, but pivoted fast and furiously to do what needed to be done when it needed to be done and to find our way. So our small but mighty team is pretty amazing also. So thank you. And I'm going to turn it back to you to say thank you.
Yes, and thank you so much to all the United Way donors, everyone that supports this great group of people. We couldn't do it without you. You're the ones that make it possible for us to connect kids, and you take that burden of trying to make sure that we can afford to help these kids out of our minds so we can focus on what's most needed.
Kristen, thank you so much. Again, thank you to all of our donors and supporters. You are part of our village, and we are so grateful for you. And I'm going to turn it back over to Marcy for a few more awards.
Thank you, Kelly. The next award is the Spirit of Community Award. And this is presented to a workplace or individual that has a community mindset and works collaboratively to help spread the local love. We have 3 different winners for this category, and congratulations go to Enbridge Gas, Woodstock Canadian Tire, and Woodstock Eastside Marios. For this award, these 3 organizations came together over the holidays to bring some real holiday cheer to the families at Engamo Homes here in Woodstock.
Hi, my name is Mike Collins. I work for Enbridge Gas. We're here at the Engamo Women's Shelter here in Woodstock to string some Christmas lights and put up some decorations for women and kids.
Hey, I'm Jeff from Canadian Tire in Woodstock. Just a quick note today to say how proud I am to partner with other community sponsors and working with United Way in making Christmas come true for a lot of kids.
I'd like to thank United Way of Oxford, Eastside Marios, Enbridge, and Canadian Tire for all of their help and assistance in making Christmas very, very merry at Engamo Homes this year.
Thank you so much for all that you did for this community. The final award that I have the honor to present today is the Quantum Leap Award. This is presented to the workplace that has shown tremendous growth in their annual workplace campaign. The winner of this award goes to STC Steel Technologies. This business hosted a kickoff presentation to all of their team members, sharing the impact of United Way, local needs, as well as local resources available here in Oxford County. The management is very hands-on with sharing why United Way is so important to our community. They provided a corporate donation match, doubling impact on community. Campaign grew from $8,070 in 2020 to $24,831 in 2021. That is an increase of over 308%. I cannot thank this business enough for all that they have done for United Way. I would like to congratulate all the businesses and all the individuals who were recipients of these awards today. Our community could not do it without you, and we thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts.
It is my pleasure to welcome our United Way Oxford Board Chair, Rod Pocketer, here. And what's so fantastic is when we talk about United Way Oxford being 100% local, we're local in every sense of the word, including our volunteer board of directors. So welcome, Rod.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I'd like you to maybe share with folks a little bit about what your experience is as a volunteer on our board.
Okay, I'd be happy to do that. So let me start by saying this is a time of celebration, right? Because this is the end of the campaign and it's a time to celebrate. But let's also remember about the pandemic. And we've had 2 years of hell, not only in this community, but around the world. And this United Way has really stepped up to the plate. They've done remarkable work despite this pandemic. And I'm so proud to be involved with the board of directors of this United Way, and I'd like to acknowledge them and the work that they've done at this time.
You know what, I have to concur. From the get-go, the board, the board's always been incredibly supportive and involved, but as soon as the pandemic hit, we were making sure we had extra resources, that we were really monitoring things even more than we normally do to ensure stability, and that we would have those resources to commit to our community. And that was our priority all along.
This United Way has done remarkably well, and we know that not all social service organizations have done as well as this United Way has done. And the circumstances have been difficult for this community, as have all the communities, but the generous donations from this community has been remarkable. They've really stepped up to the plate. They've made true the statement that without your generosity, there is no way. And this community has come forward, and we've been surprised beyond our wildest dreams in terms of the campaign donations that have been made during these difficult times. And that's wonderful for this community and wonderful for the United Way.
It really is. I think it speaks volumes to the care and kindness and generosity of our community that we've always known. But in these really challenging times, people dug deeper than ever before to help their neighbors, their friends, their family, their co-workers.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing and remarkable?
It really is.
In these difficult times, that's when the best comes out in people. And that's what we've got from Oxford County.
I am proud to call this community home, and certainly proud to represent the United Way for this community, because we really do work together as a community, as our village.
Absolutely. And let's acknowledge also the money that came from the federal government in terms of generous amounts of money that were much needed by this community. But this United Way was ready, willing and able to step up and provide the funding to the key services that were needed, that the federal government provided for us.
Absolutely. And the fact that we are not a government-funded organization at all, but during these difficult times, these challenging times, United Ways were chosen as the organization, or one of the few organizations, with deep knowledge about their community, strong connections, really vast networks, and were able to mobilize investments fast and furiously, but intentionally, and where they mattered and where they could have the best impact for those most negatively impacted.
Absolutely. Can I tell you a bit about the board?
Please.
Yeah. So this board of directors represents the community. They represent the community to the United Way, and they are elected volunteer members who come from across this county, young and old, wise and sometimes not so wise. But we get together on a monthly basis, and because of the pandemic, of course, we've had to do it via Zoom meetings, and they are there each month. The staff does the hard work, and the board is there to acknowledge that work, to evaluate the work that's done, to do the governance, and to hold the agency accountable. But the board members have these unique values that they all share, that are so important to this community and in terms of the work that needs to be done, and they bring that to the table every month.
And that is so important. And the other thing that we have been so blessed with our board are really strong financial management. So when we say that transparency and accountability and stewardship are really core values, they are, not just to the staff, but to the board as well. These are things that really matter, and we are so fortunate to have the oversight of 15 dedicated community members working on behalf of the community.
Right. I just wish I could list each one of the board members in terms of the knowledge and expertise that they bring, but you're quite right. The financial expertise we have is amazing, and it's great to have that knowledge there and the ability to evaluate and determine and to project into the future in terms of what the financial needs would be. This board started in the last 2 years a generative discussion kind of a format, and you were able to bring the key priority problem areas to the board, and the board is able to sit down and spend half an hour, sometimes a bit longer than that, of an evening taking into account what the priority issues were and looking at brainstorming kinds of unique solutions for those. The other thing the board has been involved with in the last 6 months is the new strategic plan. So we are well underway, and hopefully we'll complete that in the next couple of months, and that'll set the strategic directions for United Way of Oxford for the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah. And the timing couldn't be better, because if there was ever a need for a new strategic plan, this is really being it. And so we are hopeful and positive and looking at wonderful opportunities moving forward. And I think that speaks volumes to our community, as you said, and the generosity and the kindness. And so now more than ever, we are grateful for those who support us. Now more than ever, we know that we have needs and requirements to help those less fortunate or those that have really been struggling. And so would you like to do a little thank you to our funded partners who are really on the ground doing amazing work with folks every single day?
My privilege to do that. So these people are the people on the ground, as you say. They do the hard work on a day-to-day basis, and we're happy to partner with them, to ask them, to invite them to come and make applications to the United Way. And then the Impact Committee, which I'm sure you've heard about earlier today, does a unique selection of organizations that are strategically positioned in the community to provide those necessary services in sometimes quite a unique and innovative way. So we really appreciate the partnership that they have with United Way, and it makes our community stronger together.
It absolutely does. And so I'm going to actually throw this session back to Marcy to do the final wrap up and to thank everyone. But as I do, on behalf of United Way Oxford and our small but mighty team, thank you to everyone who was there with us throughout the year in a million different ways and with a variety of ways to generously support the work we do. We could not do it without you, and we are so incredibly grateful. And our community is better because of you. Thank you, and here's Marcy.
I would like to take this opportunity to personally thank all those who have supported United Way over the past year, even 2 years, that I have been your campaign chair. The last 2 years especially have not been without challenge to many of our community members. But to those individuals, the companies, the employees, the labor partners, the social service agencies, I want to express my extreme gratitude to you. So many came up with creative and innovative ideas to help our community who were in need, and they were in need. I want to thank everyone for being such a big support and a part of United Way. No matter how big or small your donation, it helped our community to raise more than $1.15 million. As we maneuver through these restrictions that hopefully will be lifted soon, we have to remember that together more than ever, we need to feel the local love. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.